to a vlog. Today I am doing a pretty I guess popular-ish video idea. Anyway, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be doing this vlog until I find a 5-star Christian fiction. I think this video idea is so fun. I love watching other people do it. It gives me a chance to talk about more books like as I'm reading them, which is something that I really enjoy doing. And yeah, I think vlogging is really fun. Now I got this idea from, I think Oshina did it, and maybe Book Lover Amanda also did it or talked about doing it. I can't remember, but like obviously, as I said from the beginning, not my original idea, just a trend. And you know, I am Gen Z, so I gotta follow all the trends. Anyway, moving on. I am so picky with 5 stars, guys. Like, it is, for me to give a Christian fiction 5 stars, it has to really like knock my socks off. So we might be here for a while. This might have to be like a 2-parter because I don't give out 5 stars really that easily. Like I give out 4 pretty often, 4.5 if it really impresses me, but 5 stars is like I'm stingy. And I need you to wow me. The last 5-star, I can't remember the last 5-star Christian fiction I read. I'll go back and look. I should have like looked before I started, but it's fine. We're gonna go along, and like just because I don't give a book 5 stars doesn't mean I don't like it. Like to me, 4, 4.25, 4.5, those are great. Those are really, really great. And like definitely would recommend. So the book that I'm currently reading is The Manhattan Confessions by Jocelyn Green, 3rd book in the On Central Park series. I'm really enjoying it. It's right now it's tracking as like a 4.25 read. It's so good. I'm loving the character of Ivy. She's so fun. She reminds me a lot of myself. She's a bit more blunt. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty blunt. Like I am very blunt, but she's more blunt with strangers than I am. Basically, this book opens. She is a librarian at the New York Historical Society, and she's been working on writing a history of this woman, Adeline, this like elderly woman, Adeline, who has this very colored past. She rose up in society in a very unconventional, almost scandal, not almost, definitely scandalous way. And the editor of the like bulletin that the New York Historical Society puts out was really impressed by Ivy's write-up, and so he published the first part of it in their like quarterly bulletin, and was like, if you want to the end of the story, you have to come by and speak to our librarians and they will give you the rest of the story. Now, Adeline wanted to stay anonymous, and she did stay anonymous. She has stayed completely anonymous, but Ivy has had 2 men come and be like, I need to know who she is because she's connected to my family. And this one guy is like, she owes us, like she stole from us and she owes us money. And then this other guy is like, my grandfather knew her and like his life was in danger. I don't know, something like that. I guess his life is at stake. I'm a little bit more confused as to him. The other guy who was like, she stole from us, I like understand that plot pretty well. And then with all this, she is also getting to know Tom, who is Luke's best friend, and Luke was the love interest in the last book for Ivy's roommate Elsa. So Elsa and Luke, obviously this is minor spoilers for the last book, but Elsa and Luke are like, they're courting now, and so they're hanging out a lot, and Tom often gets brought into it, and so it's like the 4 of them, but they're kind of, Tom and Ivy are now kind of like looking at each other like, you know, the vibes are there of maybe being more than friends. But I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm almost halfway through it. It's so good. I just love the writing. These books are like, this series is slower, but in a good way. So anyway, I've gotten a fair amount of reading done this morning. I don't know how much more I will do today because I have a busy day, but I will be sure to update y'all when I've accomplished more. Good morning reading vlog. Welcome to my car. It is Teacher Appreciation Week, and my favorite coffee shop ever is giving out, or is still giving out, free coffees to teachers. And so you best believe I got one. This is a chain in the, not just the upstate, in like the Carolinas, and I think there's, I don't know what all states they're in, but Summer Moon coffee is amazing. Anyway, I do need to actually like get going to work, so let me kind of do that. Anyway, we can kind of chat and drive. So I finished the Manhattan Confessions last night. It took me a couple days after the last clip. Oh honey. Okay, so as I was saying, I finished the Manhattan Confessions last night. It did take me a couple of days after the other time I was talking about it. And I really liked it. I think I'm gonna give it a 4.25 stars. I loved that series so much. If I were to give this series a star rating overall, like the whole series, I would give it a 4.5. Each book was really, really good. I loved the characters so much. Ivy, the character in this book, her progression of faith was beautiful. I loved it. Just the way that she ended up coming to rely on the Lord and finding her identity in him was beautiful. And then also her romance was so sweet. It was precious. And I don't know what these books would be classified as. Like, would they technically be romantic suspense? Like, I don't know, because they were very mystery and suspense. I'm gonna have to look this up because I thought they were just straight historical fiction, like mysteries. But then I was like, well, not everybody, but like people use the term romantic suspense, and I've always kind of said like, oh, that's not, like, I don't really read that genre. But I don't read that genre in like the contemporary idea of like CIA agents or like FBI, or like I've heard of like natural disaster books. Like, I don't really read those, but these historical fiction ones where there was suspense and mystery, ooh, I was eating that up. I was loving it. So maybe my reading tastes are changing a little. I think also, like, you could pop any, oh, this is strong. She told me it was gonna be strong, and it's strong. Anyway, like I was saying, you can pop almost any type of plot, as long as it's well written. Oh, sorry, you guys are moving. Into a historical fiction setting, and I'm gonna like it more than if it were contemporary. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, that's just the way it is for me. Okay, anyway, today I'm going to be starting with This Pledge by Tamera Alexander. I believe that's what it's called. I know this is a Civil War story, and I believe it has to do with the main character. She has to fulfill a soldier's dying pledge or promise or something. I don't know, something like that, guys. I haven't read it yet. I can't tell you. But anyway, that's what I'm going to read today, or start today, and I'll let you know the thoughts. couple of days and I have started With This Pledge by Tamera Alexander. Guys, this book is intense. It is really intense. I am 110 pages through it now, and basically we open on Lizzie, and she is a governess at the Cornton Manor, and she's just teaching a lesson, and she steps out on the balcony and sees the Northern Army. What were they called? The Federal Army? I can't remember. And I literally just read it. Anyway, the Northern Army. She sees them assembling and then very quickly realizes a huge battle is about to happen right on their doorstep. And then right as that battle is starting, the Cornton Manor gets turned into a field hospital, and she is set to work assisting with surgeries, helping just comfort the wounded, bandage them up, all of these things. And it's really intense. Like, the descriptions of blood and gore and like all of it, it is definitely a lot. I got through a bit of it last night, and I kind of realized, I was like, I don't think I want to binge this book, as good as it is, and as like I feel deeply entrenched in the story and invested in the story, and we're only 100 pages in, but I was like, I don't think I want to just like binge this and read it for like, you know, an hour or two while at work. So I decided to pick up The Wedding Shop by Rachel Hauck, and I started that today during nap time at work, because I was like, I read the first book in this series, The Wedding Dress, a couple of weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it, and it was pretty lighthearted, and so I was like, well, let me get into that, because I want to read this series, and I have it out from the library right now. So anyway, I was like, we'll kind of flip-flop between these two so that I don't like get, you know, super overwhelmed with the like gore and blood and death in With This Pledge. So reading both of these books right now. But yeah, The Wedding Shop I am liking. I realized after I started it that it's the third book in this series, but I'm pretty sure, okay, bye. Oh boy. He really, like, my dog barks at everything that passes by outside the windows. Back to what I was saying, I don't think it matters so much if I read this series out of order. It seems like one of those series where you can read them out of order. They just all kind of have to do with the central theme, I hope. I'm not gonna sweat it too much. So anyway, started this book. It is following, so far, it's following Haley in the present day, and she has just returned back home after getting out of the military, and her best friend died 9 months ago from brain cancer. And when they were girls, they had said that one day they would reopen the wedding shop in Harts Bend, Tennessee, where they grew up. And so Haley is like, I'm gonna do this for my best friend that just passed. And then the historical timeline is in 1930, and it is following Cora, who owns or runs, I think she owns and runs the wedding shop in Harts Bend, Tennessee. I think this is such a fun, well, I haven't read the whole series. I was gonna say I think it's such a fun series, but I really liked the first book. I thought it was good, and I think I'm going to like this one too. I like Rachel Hauck's writing style. It's really good. And I think it's just like, this is the perfect time in my life to read these books. I wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards books about weddings and brides if I wasn't a bride right now myself. Like, I wasn't engaged at the moment. Both very different books, but I'm really enjoying them. I'm out of frame when I lean forward. That's why I'm sitting back. Anyway, enjoying both of them for different reasons, very different content and subjects, but yeah. Will either of these be a 5-star? I don't know. With This Pledge, might be. It's tracking like it could be. All right. That I will get to reading more and update y'all later. I genuinely can't remember what day I filmed the last clip, but reading update, I finished With This Pledge this morning, and oh, sorry, I'm trying to set my other book down. There we go. And I really liked it. I honestly did not realize that this was based off of a true story until the end, like in her like author's note. She was like, I loved researching about Lizzie and Roland and their story at Carnton, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. So yeah, this book is based off a true story, and considering that these characters were real, I felt like they were characterized so well just because they were real people. I feel like oftentimes stories based off of like actual historical figures, even though they're not famous historical figures, they still lived. I oftentimes feel like those stories they don't characterize them as in depth because it's almost like, oh, we don't want to like touch the fact that this was a real person. But with Lizzie and Roland, I definitely felt like they were real people. Lizzie's heart, Roland's heart, and not just like the feelings that they started having for each other, but genuinely their life and their heart for their feelings about the war, their feelings about slavery, their feelings about the like McGavick family who owned, they were like what am I saying? The owners of the Carnton Manor, you know what I'm saying. Like I got it. I was there with them and I loved that. So I can't remember how much I've really said about this. I'm sure I'll cover this in a reading wrap up or like a review at some point. But basically, like, Lizzie is the governess at the Carnton Manor, and then she gets involved with helping with the battle. And then Roland, he's like the secondary character. We get a lot less from his perspective than we do from Lizzie's. I'd say it's probably like 60-40, but still, we get less from him. But he's a wounded soldier at Carnton, and his big thing that like is the reason that Lizzie is she notices him more than the other soldiers is he begs her. He's like, do not let the doctor take my leg. We have to keep my leg. I will walk again. Don't argue with me. And she's like, okay. So she like stands up to the doctor and is like, you can't take his leg. I won't assist you in surgery if you take his leg. And the doctor listens to her and they keep his leg. And so they kind of have this like bond over that because Roland is like not indebted to her, but just he's like, oh, like she stood up for me. But then also we're following Lizzie as she's like battling with different pledges she's made. Like she's pledged to marry another man. And she's also made this pledge to a dying soldier that was at Carnton that she would deliver a letter to his mother. And so we're kind of like following her as because one of the things Roland loves about her is that she is a woman of integrity and she keeps her word. And so we're that's where the whole thing of like With This Pledge comes from, is like, how is Lizzie going to fulfill these pledges? And also like, how is she pledged to marry another man when she starts having feelings for Roland? A lot of complicated things. Don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole because a lot of that stuff starts getting covered like deep into the book. So I don't want to spoil anything, but I really liked it. I think I will be giving this book a 4 or 4.25 stars, not a 5-star. Again, like I said, it takes a lot for me to give a 5-star, but I really loved it, and I think I'd like to read a lot more by Tamera Alexander. I might want to find the other novel that I know is called a Carnton novel. All right, and then I'm still reading The Wedding Shop by Rachel Hauck. I have probably like a quarter of it left, and I'm enjoying it. I like the modern day characters. I like the past characters. They're all really engaging, and like no notes, really. No notes. She has interacted, the girl in Haley, the modern character in here, has interacted with Charlotte Malone from the first book for reasons that I won't really say because spoilers, but they've interacted, and I think it's really sweet. And I love that. So hoping to finish that up either today or tomorrow. And I don't think this book will be 5 stars. I will give you my final thoughts for it. I think it's going to be a solid 4. But then we'll see what we get on to next. I'm having a feeling this video might have to be like a part 1, part 2 situation, just because your girl is picky. Your girl is picky, and it's not a bad thing. So anyway, those are my thoughts on these 2 books. Yeah, okay, I gotta get on to work now. I'll see y'all later. Y'all, I have like 20-30 minutes before I need to leave for church this evening because it's Wednesday night and my church does have services on Wednesday night. But anyway, I'm so close to finishing this book, and I'm hooked. I need to know how it ends. So I don't know if I can do it. I'm on page 331 out of 360. Okay, I can do that. That's 30 pages. I can do that. Yeah, I literally have to know how this ends. Like, the amount of curveballs that got thrown in the last like 50 pages. Literally, I was sitting in my classroom at school, and like kids sleeping all around me, and I literally am going, no, what? No. Yeah, crazy things happened. Crazy things. Okay, enough yapping. I'm gonna finish this book, guys. I'm gonna do it. It's been a minute, but per usual for this video, low-key, I feel like this video has been very like chaotic and all over the place, but probably when I go to edit it, it'll find some cohesion. Anyway, I think the last clip was I was trying to finish the wedding shop before I went to church, and I did finish the wedding shop, but I literally had to leave for church like 5 minutes later, so I didn't get a chance to tell you my thoughts. I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. Very similar to the first book in that series, The Wedding Dress. The ending, for me, the ending just felt a little, I don't know, I don't want to say cringy. It felt a little rushed and a little like, oh, like, we'll just give them a happy ending. I don't know. At least the historical ending, for me, I was just like, oh, it's very fairy tale. It's very like, I kind of almost wished, very minor spoilers here, but I almost kind of wished things hadn't been tied up in so neat of a bow. I was kind of like, give me a little bit of like the rawness and the realness of heartache, I guess. But it is, Rachel Hauck is a romance author, and romance books typically do tie themselves up in a neat little bow. So not complaining about it. It was sweet. There was just one or two scenes where I was like, come on guys, a little cringe. Anyway, so like I said, I rated that 4 star. Nah, did I give it 4 or 4.25? I don't know. I'm just gonna say 4. But I liked it. I already have The Wedding Chapel on hold at the library, so I just gotta go pick that up because I'm really loving this series. I'm loving reading it as a bride myself. Like I said earlier, don't know if I would be as interested if I weren't a bride currently. But anyway, so obviously that book was not a 5 stars. I'm sorry, if you cannot tell, I'm currently staying in a hotel right now. My fiance graduated with his master's yesterday. So proud of him, but I'm staying in a hotel to come see him because where he went to school is not where I live. So anyway, we're going to church today, and then gonna help him finish packing up his stuff so that he can move back home. Not with me, with his parents. We're not living together until we're married. But yeah, just helping him pack up so that he can go back home for a couple months. Anyway, that's so not what this vlog is about, but just a little context with my life. The book I have started reading was it on my May TBR? No, but it was at the library, and it was a book that I've been wanting to read. Well, I wouldn't say I've been wanting to read, I've just heard other people talk about it, and so then I was finally like, I just want to read it so that I can have an opinion on it too, and it does sound good. So the book I started was The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp by Sarah Brunsvold. I stopped in the middle of a chapter. What was I thinking? I'm 116 pages through it so far, and I'm liking it. I am liking it a lot. Mrs. Kipp is a fun character, and the reporter, Aiden, I also really like her. I really relate to her as a young professional. You know, she's a journalist. She's working in a newsroom, so not the same as me, but just kind of learning like the ups and downs of being a young professional and navigating your career when you're young and your bosses are doing things that you're not a huge fan of, like choices regarding you and your career. So I really relate to her in that sense. And then Mrs. Kipp, I'm eager to see how Aiden is going to like mine out her story to write her obituary, but it's not really her obituary. We learned that like pretty soon in, so that's not really a spoiler. Will this be a 5 stars? I don't know. I'm not gonna force it to be just for the sake of the video, but I do think if this book, I'm obviously gonna vlog my experience with this book, but then I think if this one is not a 5 stars, then we'll end this video and it'll be a part 1, and then we'll go on and do a part 2, just because I don't love doing like super long videos. I love watching them from other people, but I don't like doing them for myself, if that makes sense. So anyway, that was a lot of little updates. I'm gonna go on to church now and read a little bit later. And yeah, we'll see what comes of it.
Hi, can I get the new like strawberry lemonade refresher? All right, thank you. Hi, thank you.
Y'all, I was trying to be all aesthetic and like order my Starbucks, and then, you know, like, I don't know, just get the cute clips. I could not express to this girl what I was trying to get. It took me like 3 tries. But anyway, I got the strawberry acai lemonade, which they also have this, you can put like energy in it, but fun fact about me is I do not drink caffeine. I haven't drank caffeine in almost 2 years because it gives me anxiety, and I don't need any more stress or anxiety in my life. So basically, I finally had to be like, I want the strawberry energy thing without the energy. Like, don't put the energy shot in it. And she finally understood what I meant, thankfully. Okay, now that we have the drink secured, let's talk about the book. And let me get the book from my bag because this book is too good for me to not be holding it in my hand. Okay, today I finished The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp. Guys, this book is so freaking good. I think in the last clip, I was like, I don't know if this will be a 5 stars. This is a 5-star read. Like, I kind of realized yesterday as I was reading it, I was like, I genuinely have no notes on this book of like things that I would like to be better or different. Like, everything is truly like panning out. I don't know, everything is like happening the way, okay, that's not necessarily what I'm trying to say. It's well written. Like there was no like writing critiques I had. There was no like, oh, this plot doesn't make sense. The characterizations of Mrs. Kipp and Aiden were so good. I like the last few chapters of this book, I genuinely cried while reading them. And like, I have been known to tear up while reading books for sure, but like I actually shed tears, and like I was like wiping them away, and I was at work and I was trying, like I was like, I really hope no one walks into this classroom right now because I'm literally crying about a book. Which is not like, there's no shame in that at all, but you know, didn't want anyone to get looking at me funny. Thankfully no one saw me, so it's okay. But yes, I am literally obsessed with Mrs. Kipp. I want to be like Mrs. Kipp, and I think that's what really made this like 5 stars for me, is like the impact that Mrs. Kipp had on Aiden, the journalist. Also, Aiden is a woman. It took me a second. Like, it didn't take me long, but like, I don't know, to me Aiden is a guy's name most of the time. But anyway, yes, Aiden is a girl. But the impact that Mrs. Kipp had on Aiden and her life, like, I feel like it had a similar impact on me and my life. Obviously not the same, because like I was reading the book, I wasn't like living the experiences, but I don't know, I just really, I was so touched by this story, and it definitely lives up to all the hype, all the good things everyone has said about it. I think I'm gonna do like a full review of it, because you know, I'm not doing it justice in this video alone, so I highly recommend it. There's definitely a lot of like, it's a hard book, I'm not going to lie. It's challenging, there's some triggering things. Some of the stuff that Mrs. Kipp goes through is like, I could definitely see it being like very triggering or challenging for some people. And there is honestly like a lot of shock in the first few chapters of like, oh my gosh, what has this woman not gone through? But the payout is insanely worth it, and I really, really enjoyed it. So anyway, I have reached my destination. I need to go inside. I have a dress alteration for a bridesmaid's dress for my friend's wedding in like a month or 2. So I'm gonna get on that, make sure this thing fits and I look great for her wedding. I'm like really early, but when I called to make the appointment, they were basically open the whole day. Like, they had appointments all day long, so hopefully it's not a big deal. Yeah, I guess this is the end of this vlog. Let me go ahead and wrap that up. Thank you so much for coming along. Didn't think we would find a 5-star, but we did, and it was a completely unexpected find, and I really loved that. So I recommend all of the books that I've talked about in this video. Can't even remember all of the ones that I've talked about. I think it was With This Pledge, the wedding shop, and then this book. Was it only 3? No, maybe it was. I'd love to do this concept again. I definitely really would. I want to do more reading vlogs in general, but yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on any of these books if you've read them. I definitely encourage you to go read them now. But yeah, let's chat about it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.